Atmanam advayam kaschit janati jagadishwaram yadveti tatsa kurute na bhayam tasya kutrachit. So, the master that last time we covered, the seeker is explaining his experience. So he has reached to the culmination. He says, rare is the seeker who knows himself as the real self, all pervading, absorbed in permanent happiness, love, and wisdom. And now he is not at all scared and afraid of anything in the world, because the fear and the insecurity caused by the ignorance. Ignorance is not understanding my real self. So when I understand and realize that I am the real self of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom, where is the question of fear, insecurity, anxiety? Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma mritangamaya. Did you ask yourself that why in the journey of the Eastern wisdom, yoga, mantra, meditation, traditional discipline is that we recite the mantra in the beginning and end? We have not been doing. So we will start doing it. But before that, let us understand it clearly. Do you keep your agenda, what you have to do today? Yes, David nodded his head. Yes, we are disciplined, organized, so I keep my agenda. Have you been keeping agenda every day, mostly? Days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months? So many years. What happened? By keeping the agenda that we have been keeping for days, weeks, months, and years, did we get permanent peace and happiness? Do we live into that state of permanent peace and happiness? Now, if you keep one agenda that comes from the mantra I just chanted, every day you wake up, mentally you recite, let me move from ignorance to wisdom, falls to the truth, and fear and insecurity to the security and state of fearlessness. When I keep the agenda, today I will manage my stress. So, what happens? The mind first recalls the anxiety and the stress and all the past events. So, why you keep an agenda for crying and anxiety and stress? Why don't you keep an agenda for this? That is my goal of life. So I have not been doing in a session, but obviously when I wake up in the morning, the first thing I remember, okay, I recall the master. I keep that agenda first. The rest activities will take place. It will follow. Are you understanding? Why? Because the master and the knowledge are essentially one. So we will start now. We all are seekers. So every time we meet in the beginning, we'll focus on one mantra. And in the end, also, we will have another mantra. That is the supreme agenda of our life. Is it not? That is the supreme agenda of our life. So that is explained in a very beautiful principle for connection that we will take up later. So today's sutra says that rare seeker enters into the real self, and he or she finds, he knows, he experiences that now he is an all pervading self, permanent peace and happiness. So let us understand this verse in a different way that will enter into your head easily. Sugar tastes sweet to everyone. Does it taste salty to anyone? Sugar tastes sweet to everyone. Am I right? So what it means, the sweetness is an essential nature of a sugar. And the heat is the essential nature of fire. Light is the essential nature of a sun. Clear? First be clear, then I will ask you a simple question. What is that thing in the world whose essential nature is happiness that you are seeking and keeping an agenda every day? Did you understand the question? What is that thing in the world whose essential nature is happiness, peace, love, and wisdom? That is why we keep our agenda every day. To be happy, to be in peace. Tell me, is it vacation? Is it marriage? Is it pasta? Is it coffee? Is it tea? Is it $1 million? That is the way the seeker has to think. So when you think, you get rid of over busyness, fully busy, reaction, anxiety, duality, and crying, etc., etc. You simply drop it. Did you understand that question? Again, let me repeat. What is that thing or object or a person in the world whose essential nature is happiness that I am seeking and putting into the agenda every day in my life? Is it vacation, marriage, pasta, divorce, food, coffee, tea, big home, $1 million? It doesn't mean that I should leave those agenda. I should be working. Do these things contain happiness, peace, love, and wisdom? Did I give you a puzzle? So Eastern wisdom says we remove the confusion and the delusion, ignorance. My happiness means I am happiness. No, but you are wrong. Your mind may say you are wrong. When I drink a coffee, I feel happy. When I drink a tea, I go to vacation, I'm happy, isn't it? It's a normal experience. But on one hand, we know that no object in this world contains happiness. But I feel happiness. How do you explain that? I want to bring the light of the sun inside my room. So I open the door, I take the mirror, and I reflect that light into my room. That is the reason. The happiness inside is reflected through the mind in vacation, in drinking, in pasta, and in all our activities. Did you understand? Are you getting it? So the next time when you are aware, oh, I'm happy doing this activity, it is your essential nature. It is the happiness inside that has been reflected the mind like a mirror in contact with. Even if you love your honey, that love is reflected in the mind to your honey, and you feel I'm very happy with you. Are you telling a lie or a truth? No, I love this couple, so couple is attending, but just think of it. I'm just asking you to think. It has nothing to do with the blind faith or belief or confusion. We are removing the confusion. Oh, I like pasta. Pasta is so good. Luckily, I have been eating, for the last almost now 1.5 years. Did you understand? Did you understand this puzzle? The way the mirror reflects the sunlight and that can enter into my room the same way. When I keep those agenda in my daily life, the happiness is reflecting in the mind in contact with the people outside. Are you getting it? So, where is the confusion? Now, think, where is the confusion and the delusion? This is what this seeker is saying. Now I understand. So, he points out there are rare seekers because he was trying for years and years and years. And with this master, he realized peace and happiness is my essential nature. So when you remove this confusion and the delusion, it is gone. Did you understand why I am happy taking a cup of tea? Continue taking it. That's not a problem. Like it, it's a normal. Whatever I like, pasta, I have resources, build the big, but what the master is saying, remove that delusion that you have a big mansion, that is why you are happy. You have $1 billion, that's why you are happy. No, it is a reflected happiness coming from you, the real you. If it is not, then my dearest friend would have been happy. I don't want to name him. Are you understanding that? Or for the girls, if you marry Miss Universe, you will always be happy. For the girls, if they marry Mr. Universe, or the boys who marry Miss Universe, they will always be happy. Think. When you start thinking in that way, you find, oh, I don't. No, let me talk about it. How my master used to give an example from the complete text, the Upanishads. It's a very crude example, but it's better. Now you all are seekers. Dog is hungry. He was searching for food. He found the bone. He started crunching the bone. His gum hurts. His gum starts bleeding. And he was enjoying as if the blood is coming from the bone. The master hammers on our mind. Are you understanding this example? I'm sorry, just talking about this example. Did you understand this point? The dog is enjoying the eating the bone because the bone has hurt his gum and the blood started coming. and the dog claims that the blood is coming from the bone. We are seekers. We should learn very hard facts. Think of, just become aware. Aware. We have already understood clearly that happiness is not the stamp on the dollar, on the house, on the husband, on the wife, on the kids. The stamp is not there. So, from where the happiness converts into pleasure? Maybe you are not happy listening to me. That is your response, not mine. Do you see that point? That is why we don't say teacher, we say guru. The guru is focused on removing the ignorance, moving their seekers to the wisdom. So, do you understand it intellectually? Do you have a clarity that permanent happiness is my nature? Permanent happiness, peace, love, and wisdom is mine. That is the goal of yoga, mantra, kundalini, tantra, the entire, all the different schools. That is what I say, the Eastern wisdom. Now go back to the agenda. I know you will start thinking of keeping it. No, I'm very busy. I got a good message from Kate, automatic message, not your message. Even if you are traveling, happiness is within you. So now understand in another way. We have a center, we have a circle. So that center is the real self. Over the center is covered by the mind, and that mind expands and becomes the circumference. That is what we know our world. My honey, my kids, my money, my business, my. Did you understand? Center. The real center is the real self, covered by the mind, has to think, has to speak, has to act. So that mind constantly expands and creates a circle. What is that circle known as? Circumference. So, whatever the agenda that we keep in our life coming from the mind, it is veiling the real self. And that circumference contains attachment, detachment, crying, likes, dislikes, stress, problems, suffering, and blame and complaint. You don't love me. Have you ever said you don't hate me? You continue to hate me. I will continue to love you because love is my essential nature. We don't think in that way. So you don't think in that way, and that circumference keeps moving you in your life. Agenda from the day one until we die. Where is happiness? No, I did not complete so many projects in my life. That is why I'm not happy. Think of it. Remember the dog and the bone. Remember, the center is the real self. Mind is matter that borrows the consciousness from the real self that creates the circumference. And then I start thinking, speaking, and acting. What is that thinking, speaking, and acting? Keeping an agenda every day. Make your mind aware of this. Today I have to do this. I have to collect these things. For what? For what? so that I will be happy. But happiness, that is pleasure, reflected happiness in the people, in the money, it is definitely there, but it is reflected. Did you get it? It is reflected happiness in every object, person, thing that we like. Huh? I believe you're getting it. We have to go a little deeper because now, next week, the fifth chapter is coming and it blows our mind. The way the master now wants to confirm in a positive way to the seeker that, yes, I understand that you have realized. You are into that state of consciousness. So it means when you say, when you cry, you have an anxiety, you are telling me a lie. You're not telling me the truth. Your nature is happiness. How can the sugar be ever salty? Bitter. Are you not a human being? Every human being contains that real self. Will you recognize the moment the crying comes, anxiety comes, duality comes, conflict comes? Recall, remind the teachings of our master that we are of the nature of real self. I also cry when I look at my master sitting alone. Center is one. Because of one center, the mind projects millions of centers. And that millions of centers keeps my agenda of every day forgetting my real self. That is the confusion. Are you getting it? Mind makes millions. No, I have to take pills. I have been suffering from, example, from diabetes agenda. It's very important to keep my body intact at the cost of real self. Do that also if you are suffering, but your real self. It comes only by traditional way of teaching, not learning the text. The teacher has to become a text, means the knowledge passing to you. That is the beauty of the tradition. What is that? So first circumference. Around that center is the body. Second circumference is the mind. Third is the breath. Fourth is my thoughts and feelings. Fifth is my business and profession. Sixth is my relationship. Seventh is, go on, continue. Where you are. Where you are you understanding that where you are? If the fifth circumference is the mind contains the delusion and the confusion, then the mind creates another circle of crying, anxiety, duality, and you are not there. You are not that. Can you communicate consciously to the mind that you are none of them? Then what is left? You are the center. Center is the real self. It is pure consciousness. It is independent. It is of the nature of peace, happiness, love, and wisdom. That is what Ashok, our Guruji, used to teach. He attended a lot of sessions. And also, Samir met frequently. He is busy in his business. Another circle. Vaibhav did not get a chance. Just an example. Nothing to see that. That is the real. This is what the seeker is saying. Now the master, as if the seeker is teaching the master. Let the time come, you start narrating your experience, which should be a teaching to me. Come on, I understand. I have that experience. Last thing, isn't every Saturday, or you have many other agendas to keep. Choice is yours. Choice is yours. So we will start our practice now. So let us start our practice.